Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. The show is about conversations that matter, transforming lives one story at a time. And I'm very excited about introducing a wonderful woman who is making an incredible impact in communities. Kaukab Usman has a broad experience of working with marginalized communities in education and international development sectors, which may also be called nonprofit sector, on social justice issues. She's driven by her passion to help people in any way possible, and she's recently launched a nonprofit organization by the name of CEIIP, the Center for Economic Integration of Immigrant Professionals, to assist professional immigrants in Canada who are struggling with social and economic integration issues. And she was inspired to create this platform after witnessing the barriers in the diaspora encounters to settle in a new country they call home. Please welcome the very special Kaukab Usman. How are you doing tonight?
Good evening. Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for your time. We really do appreciate it. And I have to say that you're an inspiration. So thank you for what you do for so many people. You've been a voice for so many who are in a situation where they are coming to the land of milk and honey, just like myself as a child, an immigrant child from Jamaica back in the 70s, settling in Montreal first, and bright-eyed and looking for all the wonderful opportunities. And then the reality comes that, for my parents especially, that their skills were good, but not good enough without Canadian experience.
Right,
and there comes the reality that hit them hard and how they have to integrate into Canada. So tell me a little bit about your background leading up to what you're doing today.
Yeah, I'm a Pakistani woman, and I have worked in educational and international development sectors on social issues, which include poverty reduction, employment readiness, and social and economic inclusion programs. Back home, I was teaching at post-secondary level. I came to Canada in 1999, and I went back to school for my second master's in educational leadership in the U.S., and I worked with marginalized communities to train and prepare them as per labor market. So service has always been a passion and a mission, I would say, especially because in 2007, I got a second lease of life, I would say, because there was a medical situation, and since then it has been my burning desire to make a difference in whatever way I can. So when I came to Canada and I saw and experienced and witnessed the painful struggle faced by the professional immigrants in Canada who are highly educated and have great work experience but do not have access to labor market. And initially, I heard that Canadian has a hidden job market, and I was in Canada for 11 years, so I worked in the U.S. for 7 years at very senior management roles, and I went back to Pakistan because of a family emergency, and I came back in 2015, and I thought that I was well equipped to enter the labor market in Canada, but this time I was faced with the challenge of not having Canadian work experience, which I kind of evaded the first time by going to the U.S., getting my education there, and working there. Now, currently, I'm working and volunteering with the Peel Poverty Strategy Action Group, with the local soup kitchen, Habitat for Humanity, and I'm also a member of Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Committee for Peel Region. And all of these experiences are giving me a closer look into the lives of people, the people who are less fortunate than you. So that kind of brings sanity and hope, and you feel that you're not the only one who has issues and challenges. So looking at all those the challenges and the struggles of the people, I thought that, it is not fair that they have everything. The only thing lacking is not having that experience, and which nobody is willing to give them. And so I kind of took up this initiative of launching this website and a web program to help people with the resources that I have discovered on my own.
Right. Excellent. And how do people connect with you? And what are ways that you can mentor people to help them in their integrating into these services, into where they are?
As you know, that there are many services out there in this space, where many, settlement agencies and employment agencies, and they are doing all kinds of work. But I think that there are certain things which are lacking. And to start with, I would say the understanding of an immigrant needs some kind of a revision and understanding. An immigrant comes at a very mature stage with a lot of education and experience. She's not only mature in years, but in experience as well. So I feel that the services that are provided through these agencies are misaligned in the sense that they are only talking about how to do the resume, but, you can't, the resume is not going to work unless you have a market linkage and there are jobs at the end, or the employers are there with that mindset to give a chance to the immigrants. This whole exercise cannot work and cannot be effective. So the other thing I feel that these services and agencies do not have a very big scope, in the sense many people are kind of left out of this scope of services. For example, if they are not newcomers, if they are not if they have been in the country for a number of years, and they cannot use the services and that. And I want that these agencies should be able to provide these services irrespective of how many years they've spent in it in the country, and it should be available to them whenever they need it, in any point in time of their lives. And I've seen and read, and actually there have been many agencies that have done, which are government agencies also, who have done research on the situation of the newcomers and the immigrant professionals. And one such report was Peel Newcomer Strategy Group did a report where it said that it takes about 5 to 8 years for immigrant professionals to find a job in their sector. The other thing, I feel that the services are not well publicized because people do not know about what resources are available. It is word of mouth that they come to know about it. And so, it takes longer for the immigrants to know about those services and utilize them. Also, I feel that the regulatory bodies here should be facilitating the newcomers by giving them opportunities, training opportunities on job, orientation sessions, instead of putting them through diplomas and certificate programs which are spread over years, because when they come with family and children, and they have to provide and put food on the table. So with those kind of strict programs, which it is not possible for them to do that. So I think that the other thing is that the services need to be evaluated not only by service providers, but also by the beneficiaries and the users, to see whether they're meeting the needs of the people and whether people are being connected to the jobs in their field of training or not. I think this can create, the systemic gaps can be identified, and that's the first step to move in the right direction. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, it sounds like you have such a wealth of, information where that's concerned. You're very expert in this area. What challenges have come your way through offering these services?
Well, I just launched this platform in 2018. So it is relatively new, and we're working on it. And I think there are so many challenges that we will face. First of all, I think changing that mindset, because some of the people do not even agree to the idea that there are any challenges, those who have gotten jobs. But I agree that there are certain sectors like IT, like accounting and engineering. Those are the sectors where the jobs are available, but it is not so in every field. And I feel that the other challenges are like the regulatory bodies take so long in recognizing your credentials. And what makes me angry, kind of, or I shouldn't say, I think it's a very strong word, let me just soften it by saying that it's a concern that, you come into this country based on the education and the experience that you've acquired in your own country, and you're granted that immigration. But once you come into this country, everything is undervalued, undermined, and then, you're put through the whole hoop of getting that education. Maybe you have more experience and more education, or a combination of both to do the job, and maybe more than that job, then even then you're not given the opportunity to come into the system. And I think this is hurting not only the professionals and causing issues that even we spoke about in the election time, about affordability, about poverty, about housing, and all of those issues. And all of these stem from not having stable, well-paid jobs with benefits. And if we address that, and if we open up our economy and let people enter it and bring in new ideas, because Canada is a champion of diversity and inclusion. So diversity and inclusion doesn't mean that, you need to have that Canadian experience, because then that is not inclusive. That is against the spirit. Then we should allow people to be who they are, bring in whatever they have to offer, and see how we can synthesize, how we can all come together and utilize the best practices that everybody is bringing in from different parts of the world. I think that is very important. And diversity and inclusion for me means, economic diversity and inclusion first, because all the other conversations that we have in the community are, cannot happen unless people have food in their stomachs and a roof over their heads. So this is something that, and I think we need to create this environment and this break this myth and this misconception that these people coming from third world countries don't know much. I think if they're given an opportunity and they prove themselves anywhere in the U.S. and everywhere else, when you're given the opportunity, because we don't have a network here, and we have to make it at all costs, because we have families to feed and all of that. So it is just a matter of giving that opportunity, and changing that mindset of the employer is something which is a very big barrier here.
Okay, excellent. And I hear so much of what you've done to, really uplift people and to push them forward in pursuing their passion. But this work is actually, what I'm understanding, is your passion work. How has your life been transformed pursuing it?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I had a medical situation in 2007 where I thought that I was given a second lease of life. And ever since then, I have been very actively praying to God to give me an opportunity to make a tangible difference in the lives of people. And I had always been thinking to do something really big, which required a lot of money and all of that. But and that was not happening. And so because I didn't have the resources to do so. So one day it just dawned on me, and I thought it was a message from God, and it just was so powerful. It said, put smile on people's face. And of course, you can smile only when your issues have been resolved, and the main issue, I think, probably after security is your economic survival. So I I have worked with marginalized communities all through my career, and it has basically been empowering them to be economically independent. So I took up this issue because I experienced it myself, and I saw people suffering because of it. And how I have been transformed, I think that all my life I have always been saying and, thinking that life hasn't been easy, it hasn't been fair. But I realized that there was a purpose to it. And the purpose is that I was given this first-hand experience of diverse challenges for me to understand, feel, and surmount them in order to relate to others and help them overcome them. So now I feel I'm a changed person. I feel I'm blessed to have had the experiences that I've had in life. And I feel that there's no better way to happiness and peace other than serving those in need.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really admire your selfless service. And I'd like to really encourage people to step out of their comfort zone and to lend a helping hand to the community, because it not only helps other people in getting into the place or the position that they should be, but it also does so much for yourself, right, Kaukab?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is an investment in you, in your spiritual life. It is also, giving you that inner peace, which is invaluable and which you cannot buy by just going to a shopping mall and buying all the stuff that you want to. Because this is a special kind of happiness which kind of goes deep into your soul and spirit.
Absolutely. It's priceless. And it's something that, like you said, it's intangible, it's intrinsic, and it's something that no one can take away from you once you've established it in your life. So very special quality.
Definitely.
So I just have a question. So, Kaukab, how can people connect with you on social media? Is there a way that we can send messages, email you?
Yeah. We are in the process of setting up the CEIIP website. It is CEIIP. You can reach us, visit our website, which is CEIIP@CEIIP.org, or you can always contact me through my phone, and my number to reach is 647-779-1424. Email me or reach out on LinkedIn. I would be more than happy to connect with you. I need everybody's support and prayers, of course, to make it a success, because I think we all need it. We are all in it, and we have to work together to make it happen, because we can't put the responsibility on government and different agencies unless and until we all stand up and face it together.
Excellent. Very, very wise words. Thank you so much, Kaukab, for your time. We do really appreciate it. And I applaud you again for everything you're doing in the community. It's very, very much needed. So you've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. We have a very special guest, Kaukab Usman. She's doing amazing things in the community, and I encourage you to reach out to her if you are new to Canada and you're looking to find out services that are out there so that you can have a healthy, functioning way of connecting into the community and finding employment and finding housing and all the other parts of what you need to function well. So, again, Kaukab, thank you, and look forward to connecting with you again next year.
You're
more than welcome
to connect with you, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you about the initiative and reach out to people through you. Thank you, and have a great evening, and I look forward to connecting with you in future. Thanks.
Thank you, and I wish you and your family all the best for the holiday season. And
thank you.
We're looking forward to a bright 2020. So all the best.
Have a good night. Definitely. Bye.
Bye-bye now.